Today, we're having a conversation with Dr. Alex Kamau. He's a senior business consultant, an auditor, and of course, a financial analyst. Dr. Alex.
Yes, Sam.
Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
This is Anza.
Anza.
Looking sharp.
You too.
Yes, asante sana.
Yes.
So now, before we even get into the complexities around money and all,
Yes.
can you help us make sense of what's happening in our country right now as far as this finance bill, debt?
Yes.
Help us make sense of what's happening.
Yes. What is happening in our country right now is that we need to pass this finance bill before 30th June.
Yes.
That is 30th of this month.
Yes.
Because basically what a finance bill means is the document that will be used by the government to raise the revenues that will be used to finance the expenditure of the government.
Okay.
So we already know about the budget for the next year, and the year for the government starts on 1st July and ends on 30th June of the following year.
Okay.
So by 1st July next month, we'll be using a different budget.
Yes.
Which has been, which will be 3.6 trillion budget.
Wow.
A very huge budget.
Yes.
Because we are coming from last year, or rather the budget that we are using right now, because the budget that we are using right now is for last year, which is supposed to take us up to the end of this month. It was for 3.3 trillion. So this year is we increase our expenditure from 3.3 trillion to 3.6 trillion. And that's why you have had so much outcry from the public, because the larger the budget, the more the taxes, the more the taxes from the public.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know I said that I introduced you as a financial consultant and analyst, a business consultant, but kindly tell us more about yourself before we continue.
Yes, my name is Dr. Alex Kamau.
Yes.
I am a business consultant.
Yes.
I focus more on auditing and giving tax consultancy, as well as financial and investment consultancy. I run a company called Certified Business Solutions Limited that is situated at Blessed House, which is along Thika Superhighway, just opposite Garden City Mall. Yes.
Fantastic. Now, when you talk of doctor, and that brings now the issue of Ph.D.
Yes.
Don't forget, tell us about your education, Jan.
That's very good. Actually, I can see you are among the very few people who don't get confused with the word doctor and start thinking that I am a medical doctor. Yes. Yes. I use the title doctor because I graduated with a doctorate degree in business administration, specializing in finance.
Fantastic. Business consultants. How does your expertise help businesses?
Yes, my expertise help businesses because as a scholar, we do a lot of market research and market analysis. That's where we are able to evaluate the changing and evolving business landscape, the emerging trends, the market trends, the industry changes that occur with the passage of time. So, for instance, if it is not what we were just talking about, the finance bill is introducing a raft of changes in terms of tax rates and introducing even new types of taxes. So it is our responsibility as a business consultant to advise our clients to be ready that once this bill is passed, there's this new tax that will be introduced. For instance, the chamas, the merry-go-rounds, there is a new tax coming up for them. The issue of a proposed increase in the VAT rate on fuel. So how will it affect your business? So we prepare our clients on the coming changes so that they can be able to adjust accordingly and position themselves for those changes.
Okay. I know the discussion about finance, it's a long one.
Yes.
But now we want to get those people who want to start a business.
Yes.
Let's say someone wants your services.
Yes.
And they're starting a business. How do you assess their needs?
That's a good question, Sam.
Yes.
How we assess the needs is we have a meeting with you.
Yes.
Just like this kind of a meeting that we are having.
Yes.
And then we ask you questions. What are your objectives? What do you want to achieve at the end of the day? So you can tell me that you want to start, for instance, a hardware business. Then we would ask you whether you have the required capital to start that kind of a business.
Okay.
So the capital will be a big issue, for us to be able to know whether the business that you want to start is good for you. Number two, of course, is your technical expertise. You might be saying that you want to start a hardware business, but you don't have a strong background in the construction industry. Okay. So technical expertise is key. Capital is key. Then, of course, we guide you how to register your company. Because what the main problem that we have is many businesses, they start informally and they don't put they don't plan to move from informal to formal. So if a company can start from the formal point of view, ensure that it is properly registered. You can register your company as a business name or as a limited liability company, so that you make it formal. And the importance of making your business formal is because in case you might require some financing from a financial institution, they will require you to give them those records. Because if you go to get a loan facility from the bank, and your company is not registered, is not recognized by the government, then it becomes a challenge. Okay. Yeah. So we ensure that the person, we advise the person to first ensure the company is properly registered. Then the issues of resources, financial resources, do you have enough capital? The issues of technical expertise, do you have the knowledge of what you want to invest in?
Yes. Now I know people are wondering, people come to you for your consulting and all. Right?
Yes.
How do you calculate your fees?
It's a very good question. Very good question. There's various professional, what do you call them? Professionals. Let me use professionals, whether it is a valuer, whether it is an auditor, whether it is a lawyer, whether it's an architect. They are usually guided by professional fee template.
Okay.
Yes. So if it is lawyers, the Law Society of Kenya, as an umbrella body that governs the behavior of lawyers, they prepare a template to guide the professionals under that field to use. And the reason why umbrella bodies come up with a template to guide in terms of charging, how a professional should charge fees to their clients, is to ensure that there's no unfair competition. And because unfair competition, maybe if a cup of this tea is supposed to cost about 100 shillings, you might see someone who is very aggressive and just want to attract customers. Instead of selling at 100 shillings, he sells at 20. So at the end of the day, he will even compromise the quality of services offered by that profession. So that's why professionals are not at liberty, so much of it, to set any price that they want for.
There's a template that guides them.
That guides them.
That guides them. Nice. So now when you talk of having businesses, because you find that when people start business, the key goal is to make a profit. But now as a consultant, why is it important for me to have other goals, other objectives apart from a profit?
And it's a very good question. And profit, I would say it is goal number 2. It's goal number 2. It is one of the goals, and I would place it as goal number 2. Number 1 is to survive.
Did you hear that? Number 1, survival.
Survival is key. Survival is key. Before you even start thinking about profits, you need to ensure that whatever the income your business is generating, or whatever the expenses your business is incurring, you are able to generate that income in sufficient and adequate income to meet or to match your expenses. Because if you are spending more than your business is producing, then it means you will keep getting back to your pocket.
Okay.
You keep borrowing more. And if you keep borrowing more, that is not a sustainable strategy. So we say about breaking even. Probably you have come across that concept.
Yes.
Breaking even is a point whereby the company is able to raise enough revenue to match all or to pay for all its expenses. If it is the expense for rent, expense for salary, expense for the stock, then the revenue that you are collecting from the sales is able to match that. So the business is able to sustain itself. That's number one, survival. Number two is profitability. Number two.
Yes.
Number two is profitability. That now this business, of course, you didn't start this business as a charitable organization. You started for profit. It is a profit-oriented business. So now you need to start making sure that you have a bigger catchment area for your potential customers. If you are not advertising on social media, you become aggressive and you increase the sales. Once you increase the sales, now your business becomes profitable.
Yes.
Now the third one is now the element of expansion. You might now decide that I need another branch somewhere.
Yes.
I'm doing very well here in Nairobi, but I think I can do also very well in Mombasa, in Kisumu. So the three main objectives of a business is survival objective, profitability, to be profitable, and the third one, expansion.
Expansion. Yes. Now, I was having a conversation with one of our producers.
Yes.
And the issue of these big companies having a secretary.
Yes.
Is this a thing for big companies, or even small business should have a secretary?
The company secretary.
Yes.
Actually, if I can define the work of a company secretary,
yes,
is to ensure that the company complies with various legal and regulations that are set by the government.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a function of a company secretary.
The function of a company secretary is, and this is a course that is normally done by lawyers and the human resource practitioners. So the work of the company secretary is actually to advocate for the rights of the shareholders and also the board of directors and the management. So he's the one who is the common the common factor in all that. In terms of the management team, the board of directors, and the shareholders. So he ensures that the company complies with the regulations that the government requires such a company to comply with. In terms of the rights of employees, in terms of the right of shareholders, the rights of the board of directors, and even environmental laws, that the company should be friendly to the environment. He is the one to advise the company if the company is polluting or if the company is breaching some of the laws of the country. He's basically the company lawyer.
The company lawyer.
Yes.
So there is a big difference between the secretary and, of course, the admin.
Yes, there's a huge difference. There is a huge difference. There's a huge difference. So I would say it is mainly for big companies because small companies may not be able to pay for that expense. But even if they don't have their own lawyer, their own company secretary as part of as an employee of that company, there are these companies like ourselves that offer and outsource company secretarial services. So if Sam, you want to register a company, and you are not so sure about how to navigate the registration process, you can come to my firm and we'll guide you how to register the company. And we'll advise you whether the sole proprietorship is the one that is right for you, whether it is partnership, whether it is a company limited, a limited liability company. We'll guide you through. And how many shares you need to issue, how many directors you need, whether you need the kind of a corporate structure that you need to put. You might require an advisory board. You might now require the management team. You might require a board of directors. All that we advise you.
Fantastic. And now, when you're starting a business, he said, survival is key. Actually, number one. Number two, Now we can start talking about profit. We still have so much to talk about. But for now, we take a short break. Keep it. Anza.